Hey, the FAA Reauthorization killed the NextGen program, as well as the office in charge of it. But now what? What lies ahead for us weary travelers? Let's talk about it. As we know, the FAA Reauthorization killed the NextGen program, which was the FAA's plan to meet the needs of tomorrow. We have not heard much of the FAA about the future and what about modernization, so what are we supposed to think? New York City is already constrained due to severe staffing shortage, and the whole nation is understaffed of air traffic controllers. Severe weather seems to be more of a factor in delays and cancellations, and more people are traveling. TSA just screened 3,013,413 passengers in a single day. That was the Sunday after July 4th. That is the most ever. The airlines are dealing with airspace capacity by upgrading their aircraft fleets, but that only goes so far. We're not flying 747s anymore. They are out of service, and there are only a handful of Airbus 380s. The FAA's infrastructure is very old, and there are always plans for replacements, but will that be good enough? Will form, fit, function replacements actually be enough? Form, fit, function replacements simply make sure things will be working and work all the time. Great start, but we may need more, a whole lot more, to handle what is expected in the future. Hey, if we go back 20 years, NextGen started with the FAA's own forecast, a forecast that showed a whole lot more people flying in the future. 3 times as many people were expected between 2000 and the year 2025. So obviously that didn't happen, with economic issues and COVID disrupting a straight line growth. But regardless of the time frame, we are seeing record numbers of people flying, and if we expect to grow, at what point does it all stop? New York City is already capped. We see caps of flights in North Florida. So what is the plan? Just put caps on the number of planes that can fly and hope the airlines figure it out? Air travel is much more important element to the economy than that. The ability to handle the growth is just being ignored. Look, lots of important things are happening, and good things. Stronger oversight of Boeing, more runway incursion prevention stuff, increased air traffic controller training. Hey, that's all great, but this is all dealing with the urgencies of being behind the power curve of what it takes to handle the 3 million people that just flew last Sunday. What are we doing about 4 million people trying to travel every day? Where's that plan? So I want to take us back to the original principles of NextGen. There were 8 original concepts that were deemed fundamental to meeting the capacity needs of the future. And these principles that, hey, they seem to be viable today, and they lead to a more precise NAS. None of them are standalone, and they all feed on each other. The first one was net-centric operations. The FAA talks about it a lot, but that's where decision-making is distributed to all the stakeholders, that they have the same accurate real-time information. That seems like a good idea. Then there's performance-based operations, which sets the baseline for the system performance. The weakest link, whether it be the aircraft or the ground, should not drive the performance or the modernization of the NAS. Weather is assimilated into decision-making. Precise forecasting is fundamental to predictable results. Hey, we all want an accurate weather forecast, especially when you're having a weekend picnic. Layer adaptive security, all the way from baggage screening to cyber, because security is fundamental to maintaining safety. Broad area precision navigation, where advanced precision, navigation, and timing capabilities are available nearly everywhere. So advanced procedures can be readily available everywhere, in lieu of having to build ground infrastructure. When somebody wants something, it would already be there. Trajectory-based operations, which the FAA is fully embraced. Each aircraft determines its own trajectory, and the system can help determine and mitigate constraints for that trajectory, and a lot goes into this that are necessary for all the other concepts too. Then there's equivalent visual operations where the NAS operates really smoothly when the weather's good, so act like the weather's good all the time. So what does it take to make that happen? There are plenty of things that are happening inside the cockpit that help simulate visual conditions. So pretty awesome stuff that needs to get incorporated on how the NAS is handled. Complex issues. And then super density operations, which is my personal favorite. It focuses on everything it takes to move planes and people through the busiest of airports, including what it would take to have more than one airplane on the runway at the same time. Hey, there are some really, really long runways out there. It's kind of a waste of space. The concepts and the capabilities underneath that go along with them should not be lost, and the FAA needs to refocus on how to meet the expected demand. Specifically, how will they handle the traffic expected in their own forecast? That's all I would ask for. It blows my mind that there's no commitment to handling the staffing and allowing normal operations at the New York area. There's no time commitment. Expand this to the entire NAS. What is the commitment of the FAA for handling passengers and cargo through the air? The FAA needs to commit to a plan to meet their own forecast, which, by the way, is over 50% passenger growth in the next 20 years. We need a plan, and we need a plan soon. So, if we want to have reliable air transportation, we need some plans, we need some commitments. Otherwise, we really need to start investing in Star Trek transporters or something. Some other mode of transportation, which really annoys me. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. The fun, oh shit, future. Ah shit, I don't like that either.